So welcome to copywriting. This is where it gets very exciting. In this section, I'll be taking you through what copywriting is, a little bit of an explanation, then where you will be using copywriting, such as social media posts, landing pages for your website, your ad scripts for Instagram, Facebook, and then also some business proposals that you might have to make as a freelancer or as a person working for an agency. Then I'm going to take you through Google and we will see a few best case copywriting frameworks that are out there. And then we'll be using these frameworks and all the data that we've been collecting so far. We'll plug it into ChatGPT, train it on the data, which it already has been. And then I'll show you how to create that perfect copy for your ads, for your blog posts, for your websites, and etc. So I'll see you. Now let's move towards copywriting frameworks. Now there are a few that exist, such as IDA, such as APP, the STAR framework, and also the 4Ps framework. Now what I'm going to do is, firstly, let's find out through Google about the famous or the best case frameworks that are available. Then I'm going to double verify this by using ChatGPT and by checking out what's out there available in ChatGPT's information bank. So to start off, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type what are the best framework for copywriting. And as you can see, Google has given you 4Ps, it has given you IDA, APP, and many more. Now, the second step that I would like to take is let's verify this from ChatGPT. Now we begin our prompting. So I take my first prompt, I copy it, and let's paste it into ChatGPT and find out what our software knows about copywriting to begin with. So let's see what ChatGPT says. So now as you can see, ChatGPT has given me more than 10 frameworks that can be used. As you can see over here, you see IDA. Let's read through. A classic framework that guides the reader's journey through 4 stages: grabbing attention, generating interest, creating desire, and prompting action. Then let's look at 4Ps: product, price, place, promotion. A foundational framework in marketing strategy, highlighting the 4 key elements of marketing: the product, the price, the place, and promotion. And then we can look at the STAR model as well: situation, task, action, result. Used for case studies or success stories, STAR outlines the situation or problem, the task or challenge faced, the action taken to address it, and the result achieved. So these frameworks are giving you a very good skeleton which can be followed and create your own copy. Now, once we know that, it becomes extremely easy to just plug in information into ChatGPT and inform it about the kind of output that you want. Here I will be engaging my the framework that I want to use and what sort of a tone that I'm looking for, and just the generic stuff that we have been doing so far. And one more important thing, over here it gets very exciting because now we will be using the information that we had saved in our Google Slides, in our Google Docs. I wasn't making you save that for no reason. So now we're going to bring everything to use and see what we can do.
The next important thing that we need to understand is what is a prompt in the sense of Midjourney. And it says that it's a short text phrase that Midjourney bot interprets to produce an image. The bot breaks down the words and phrases in a prompt into smaller pieces called tokens that can be compared to its training data and then used to generate an image. So basically what Midjourney does is, when we provide it a text or an image as an input prompt, it breaks it down into smaller fragments or sections of words and phrases, and then which it refers to as tokens. And then based on the data that has been trained on, it uses that to create an image from those tokens. Now let's spend a few minutes and understand the different types and the structures of prompt. Basically the anatomy of the prompt itself. So the first and the most basic one is the text prompt. So I can write something here along the lines of Superman flying by the buildings, in which case I provided a text input prompt with a /imagine command, and then the bot does its job in terms of using that phrase to create an image. Now if we look into more advanced features, and don't be overwhelmed, we'll cover everything in a lot of details in this section. There are three essential components of a prompt. The first is the image prompt, which we can provide as an image URL. We will work with this and provide different image URLs to create unique images out of existing images. The second part is the text prompt, just like the basic text prompt. And then the third part is parameters, which is basically functions or different functionalities that Midjourney provides that allows us to further customize or make our images more relatable to what we have imagined them to be. So by adding these parameters, we give a certain set of conditions to the prompt, to Midjourney bot, to customize the image in specific unique ways that we're looking for. To give you a very basic example, one of the parameters is stylize, which essentially means how creative do you want the algorithm to be. Do you want it to be a low stylization value, in which case it will try and replicate an image based on exactly what the prompt you have provided? On the other hand, if you assign a very high stylized value, the algo will interpret it as I am allowed to be creative and make my own sense of the prompt and deviate from it to create a very high artistic image full of artistic flair and a lot more composition into it. So three essential features: image prompt, text prompt, parameters. In this section, we'll first cover the power of the text prompts and how just by using basic text prompts, we can create amazing images. Then we'll dive into the parameters section and cover all the different parameters that Midjourney allows us to work with. And lastly, we'll add image URLs into our text prompts and parameters and see how does that impact the output that we are trying to create.
But before we start doing this, let's take one step back and let's also find out if there are any important things that need to be taken care of while you're doing your copywriting. Again, I'm going to use my assistant, aka ChatGPT, in order to find that out. And over here, I'm going to use my second prompt, which goes like, what are the 10 things I need to know in order to do good copywriting? So that I can find out and follow these procedures if I have to do my copy. As you can see, ChatGPT has given me about 10 points that should be taken care of. If you read through these, they're pretty simple and can be followed very easily. Now let's read through them. Know your audience. Understanding your target audience is paramount. You need to know their demographics, psychographics, pain points, desires, and preferences. Tailor your copy to resonate with them. Let's look at clear value proposition. Clearly communicate the unique value your product or service offers. Explain how it solves a problem or fulfills needs better than the competitors. Then it says, You should have a good knowledge of the IDA framework, something that we just found out, and we found out the details about that too. Then there are the features and benefits. Distinguish between the product features and the product benefits. Now, one interesting thing over here is that we have all this information recorded already. And that's why I was saying that now it becomes extremely easy and important that we are going to be plugging in all this information into ChatGPT, and then we're going to prompt it to give us some sort of a copy for either Instagram, for a website, or for whatever you want according to that framework. So let's dive into that now. So as we start discussing copywriting, there are a few basics that you should know. Now, in copywriting, if you're reading an article, it would generally have a heading, a subheading, and then the body. Sometimes there is a conclusion as well. Now, if I look at an example, I've opened a very good article over here. As you can see, there's the heading, then there's some body at the beginning, then the subheading starts. So what essentially is happening is in a blog post, the heading is supposed to attract the consumer. Then the body initially gives you an idea of what it would be about, and then the subheadings sort of compartmentalize the whole blog into different blocks so that you can, separate or divide your attention accordingly. But I should point out over here that as you are writing copy for different platforms like Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, then your website, it changes. The copy would be different. The heading, subheading, and your body, it doesn't have to be followed like something written in stone. So there's always a difference that will occur, and this is exactly what I am trying to teach you in this lecture. So let's move forward and let's see how this would be done. So once we know exactly what parts exist in a copy, then it's important to know where it can be used. Like I mentioned before, copywriting can be used in anything and in everything. So today, you can use copywriting for social media posts, such as your Instagram posts, your LinkedIn posts. Then you can use and create your own blog posts for your business. Also, you can use it for landing pages of your website. So you have your home section, you have your about us section. All these sections can be written through ChatGPT, and they all require copywriting. Also, if you're doing a business of your own, or if you're working as a freelancer, you might have to write some business proposals for your client as well. So again, copywriting comes in over here as well. And now we're going to go towards Google, look at some frameworks, and then I'm going to start teaching you how to do that copywriting from ChatGPT.
Okay. With that being said, now let's start creating images and going through the different functionalities available in Midjourney. So as always, I'll always start by typing /imagine. I enter a space, and then this would pop up on the top, and I press enter. Now I can write essentially anything that I want to create. So let's say a family in a Jurassic Park. Something very fantasizing and wild. Let's see what the algorithm creates for us. Now our image is ready, and as you can see, I specifically asked to create a family in a Jurassic Park. So it did a pretty good job that you can see a family in all the images, and then you see Jurassic Park, hints of them being in a Jurassic Park in different ways. Here you see a background of forest, which could be from a Jurassic Park. Here you see a dinosaur in the background. Here they're taking a photo next to a skeleton of a dinosaur. And here too you can see a dinosaur at the back, although they look too happy for someone who has dinosaur on their backs. The next thing I want to cover is these 9 buttons that are available here. So you see from U1 to U4, V1 to V4, and then the redo button. So essentially what Midjourney does is every time you send it a prompt, it creates 4 versions of the same prompt, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it labels the images in a certain specific way that we need to understand. So the first image on the left top is the first one. The second image on the right top is called U2. The third image on the left bottom is U3. And the fourth image on the right bottom is U4. What these U1 to U4 buttons allow you to do is to upscale an image or increase its size by adding, and at the same time while it increases the size, it adds a bit more details and description to the image. So for instance, if I click U1, it's going to increase the size of U1, and version 4 does this instantly right away. So you see your U1 image has been upsized. Now V1 to V4, what these buttons will do are they will create versions of the same images on the grid using the same prompt. So if I click on V1, so because I have the remix mode on, it's asking me if I want to update my prompt before I send it again, which I don't. So I'll just submit the same prompt and it will update it for me. Now let's try with V3. So now what I expect to happen is that in each case of V1 and V3, it will create 4 different versions of the same prompt in both cases. So now you see it's running both the jobs where it's trying to create more versions of that image. So keep in mind, when I did V1, it's creating 4 different versions of the first image. And when I did V3, it's creating 4 different versions of this image on the left bottom corner of the image. So it's using that specific image and creating more versions of it. So this is handy and useful in cases where I say that, okay, I like U1, but I don't really like it. I want a few more changes in it. So you can click on V1 and it will create more versions of it so that you can get a better diversity of the images in the same prompt. So you see here, this is from V1. I clicked on V1, so it's creating versions of the first image, and here it added small changes to the same image. The person has changed here. This is a guy, this is a woman, and here it's a kid. The dinosaur tail is there, it's not here. It's moving too fast here, and it's completely disappeared in the fog. Here it added a small dinosaur head as well. In a similar way, V3, it changed versions of the third image, and you can see small variations in terms of the hair of this boy and the hair of this girl. In the background, there are 2 trees here. They disappeared here. This guy is wearing glasses here, but not here. So it's creating small slight variations of the same image. The last button that we cover here is the redo button, and what it will do is that it will essentially just create a new grid of the same prompt. So essentially it's running this prompt again. This is the exact re-rolling of family in a Jurassic Park prompt. So it's re-rolling the exact same prompt all over it. So this is the re-rolled image and it's ready. So now you see what the algorithm did was it created 4 more images using the same prompt. So this is how these 9 buttons can be very helpful for you. The first 4 allows you to upscale an image and add more details in it while it is being upscaled. The re-roll button allows you to run the same prompt again with a click of a button, and V1 to V4 allows you to make more variations of that specific image that you have chosen.
So now let's move towards prompting ChatGPT and begin our copywriting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this prompt, that's my first one, copy it, and then let's take it into ChatGPT. It goes like, you are an expert in expert copywriter. Now I've given it the identity of a copywriter so that that's the exact way it writes it. I am providing with you with basic information about the product offering of a business that sells. Here I'm going to say standing desk since that is my product. And then once again, I'd like to mention that if you have any other product, you can definitely use that in this prompt, and it's going to give you amazing information. Now, where it says insert product information, I'm going to go to my Google Doc. And let's copy all of the information that we have collected so far. So it's not going to go down like that. Down. We go all the way. We copy the features. Now for the probable price range. Why I say probable? Because we hadn't decided, right? Now we are going to ask ChatGPT to suggest me some price ranges, because I don't have a very good idea right now. So let's see what ChatGPT says, and then we can build on that from there. So now let's copy all of this data. The personas, let's leave out the personas since they are more to do with the competitors. Actually, let's just take everything. So that, because I will be asking ChatGPT some follow-up questions as well, and that's where ChatGPT will kind of mention the things that it doesn't have in order to give me some good copy. So let's copy the cons for motion gray, and then let's copy these. Leave out the feedback for improvement because that's feedback from ChatGPT. And now what we're going to do is, yeah, this is all feedback. So let's leave out the feedback. Let's take all the information. So the details about the industry, benefits, features, the target market persona that we had created, all of that gets pasted here. And now it goes like, do you understand the product, features, benefits, target audience, and price points? Ask follow-up questions until you have all the information needed to do perfect copywriting. Now, why I'm saying this is I told you that I will be doing some follow-up questioning. I want to make sure over here that ChatGPT itself asks me or poses some questions that I can then take back to my client as a freelancer or to my manager if I'm working at an agency or at a brand. I can take those questions back and I can say that I need this information in order to do the perfect copywriting. So let's see what ChatGPT gives us in return. As you can see, ChatGPT has now given me a list of questions that I can now ask from my agency, from my freelancing clients. Let's go through these questions. So if you look at product material, it says, can you provide more details about the materials used in the standing desk, especially for the 2 different types you mentioned? I had mentioned in the pricing section that I want to split my product into 2 materials and pricing will be done accordingly. Now ChatGPT is asking me exactly those questions. Now about the brand values, do you have specific brand values that you'd like to convey in the copy? Competitor positioning, How is my product positioned against the competitors? Then shipping and delivery, where you are trying to ship it. Warranty, social responsibility, all these different things. You have around 7 or 8 questions in front of you, and you can pick these. You can write them back to your client. You can write them back to your manager and ask them further for a direction. So now you don't need to get worried or stressed that, oh, I need to come up with all this information now. No, if you are working as a freelancer, your client will be providing all this information to you. All you have to do is put this all into an email and shoot an email to your client or to your manager and get some answers for these questions so that ChatGPT can continue to do the copywriting. Now let's say, take an example, your client got back to you and gave you this sort of information. So for product materials, they said that yes, we will make 2 desks and it will be in wood and in metal. Brand values. It says that customer centricity is the core brand value that we're going to follow. Now for competitor positioning, I want to be more customer driven than competitors, because if you remember, in our customer reviews, there were a lot of reviews against the customer centricity. So that's something that I would like to focus on, that I can turn that into my advantage. Then it talks about warranty. Let's just say they gave you a 1-year warranty for shipping and delivery. We're shipping for in 1 week to any part in North America. Promotion and bundles. Let's say that we are starting off, so there are no promotions right now. And then for social responsibility, let's say the client says that 2% of my yearly revenue will go towards the climate protection. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of these and then paste them right away into ChatGPT and then say, this is the information regarding the questions you asked. Right? Go all the way down and then again say, are there any other questions you need an answer to? I just want to make sure that ChatGPT asks me as many questions as it wants so that I can give it all the answers. I have to make sure that my copywriting is 100% accurate and it's of good quality. So let's say what ChatGPT says in reply to the materials that I'm providing. As you can see, ChatGPT has further given me more questions because I asked that, are there any other questions you need an answer to? Why I'm doing this is because ChatGPT is definitely going to raise more questions, and that gives me more clarity to, complete my project as a freelancer or do an amazing job at copywriting for my own brand or for the company I'm working for. So let's go through what sorts of questions it has raised now. Product customization. Could you specify the extent of customization available for the standing desks? For example, are customers able to choose from various sizes, colors, or additional features like keyboard trays or monitor stands? Very good ideas. We can definitely focus on some of these. Now, customer-driven approach, when you mention being more customer-driven than competitors, do you have any specific practices or policies that highlights this customer-centric approach? So now it's asking you for specifics as to what defines you as customer-driven, because there could be so many things that you could be doing. Then it comes to climate protection initiative. I had mentioned that 2% of my revenue would be going towards climate protection. Extremely vague statement. So now ChatGPT is trying to dive deeper. That is the power of ChatGPT. Could you provide a bit more detail about your climate protection initiative? Knowing how this contribution is used or the specific causes it supports can be a compelling part of your brand story. Very true. Then let's come towards product naming. Do your standing desk have specific names or models that you'd like to mention in the copy? This can add personality to the product descriptions. Again, extremely right. But there can be situations where your client might get, it might get annoyed or just not give you answers to every questions every time. There can be such instances as well. And it's my duty to prepare you for those instances as well. So let's say you got a few answers from your client and you did not get a few answers from your client. So for product customization, let's say they say that, oh, we have no idea. And then they say, suggest customization options to us. For customer-driven approach, let's say they say that, okay, we are going towards hassle-free returns and we also have a money-back guarantee. Then comes the climate protection initiative. They say that we will be contributing towards the restoration of the forest burned from wildfires in the North America. There have been wildfires in the US and North America. Since I am trying to sell in the same area, I could tap into an issue that area is facing at this moment. Then comes the product naming. So suggest names for the desk made from wood and metal. Suggest innovative names. So now we're assuming that your client hasn't given you any details about the customization or any details about the naming. Now what you'll do is, again, copy these and let's paste them into ChatGPT and find out what it says. Now I'm going to start asking for specifics. And let's avoid, you can still ask questions from ChatGPT and you can still communicate back and forth with your client. But for the sake of this lecture, let's stop asking more questions from ChatGPT right now about this specific scenario. And let's see what it says about the suggestions made by our client. ChatGPT has given me all the suggestions that I had asked for. For the customization options, it has given me some sort of variation in the size selections. There could be different color palettes. There could be different accessories, such as allow customers to add accessories like cable cubbies, monitor arms, etc. And then you can also provide some accessories for wireless charging. These are just some ideas that ChatGPT has given you. And since your client did not provide you this information, now you can revert back with these 4 options. And you could say, I have 4 options for you. Let's select one of them, or let's select 2 of them. So again, for the product name, we did not have a name and we wanted suggestions from ChatGPT. Now we have some amazing names in front of us. For the wooden one, it is understanding that you have 2 different sorts of standing desks. One is wood, one is metal. Now it gives you names. So EcoFusion standing desk, Harmony Flex wood desk, Zenith Craft adjustable desk, Sculpta wood sit stand desk. Then also for metal, Steel Sculpt Pro desk, Metal Craft Flex table. These are all the different names that it has given you. And I wouldn't say go with the name right away, but you can always write back to your client and say, I have a selection of names. Let's pick one. There can be a chance that they might pick an option. There can be a chance that they might not pick an option. And in that instance, you're going to go back to ChatGPT and ask for more suggestions that you can write back to your client. After that, as you can see, I had stopped asking questions from ChatGPT. And what it did was it started giving me revised copy. So it went one step ahead. It realized that since the instructor or the person asking questions, he is not asking any more questions. Let's say this is the copy for the thing that you asked for. So ChatGPT has given me a revised copy by itself. If you look at the wood desk, it says our EcoFusion standing desk blends the warmth of natural wood with cutting-edge ergonomics crafted for the modern workspace. It's available in various sizes and finishes, allowing you to personalize your workspace with ease. Now, mind you, I still haven't told ChatGPT to give me something in the IDA framework or in the 4-piece framework, so it has given me copy by itself. Now, I am not going to use this one, but it definitely shows you the power of ChatGPT, that even though I did not ask ChatGPT to give me the copy that I'm looking for, it still did provide me something. So now what we're going to do is, since we have a sufficient amount of information about our product and some recommendations as well, now we are going to move towards the frameworks and start using them in ChatGPT to create our copy for website content, for Instagram, for other social media platforms, and then also for your blog posts. So let's dive into that now.
The next thing I want to touch base on is /settings command. So you just type / and then settings, press enter, and this pop-up will open, which will show you the different settings available for you to use from. So the first two rows shows different versions of Midjourney available. Since Midjourney was launched a while back, they have made exponential amount of improvements in the algorithm from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So now we are working with 5, which is the latest version that I've selected. It does a really good job in terms of creating realistic images. As you see above, these images of human faces look very realistic. 4 does a slightly better job in terms of creating more futuristic or unrealistic images, while the other 3 versions are, from my perspective, obsolete. 4 and 5 does such a better job in everything that these versions are not used as much. Similarly, Niji mode is a new version that is under test mode for us to play around with, and what it does is it allows you, it has a huge memory of Japanese anime characters. So if you're trying to create cartoonish or anime or comic style images, then you can switch to Niji mode as well. So this is one way of switching between versions. You can just click the version you want to use and that version will be selected, or next to your prompt you can just type this --v space 5 or whatever version you're referring to, and here you will see that happening. It adds --v next to all the prompts that we have done. MJ test is another test version that was released after version 3, but since 4, 5 and Niji does a really good job, MJ test is not that useful anymore. MJ test photo they launched after V3 because they wanted a version that does a better job with human faces, but after 5, MJ test photo is also relevant. So I will suggest you stick to 4, 5 and Niji mode for most of the work that you do. I will walk you through the different versions in one of the lectures and show you how they're different and what are the different features. But most of this course will be focused on 5 and 4 at times. The next thing here in this row is the quality of the image. And this is a parameter that is available in Midjourney. We will cover this in a lot more detail in the parameter section. But to give you a basic idea, this basically determines how much processing power are we going to ask Midjourney to put in to create the output image. And the more processing power we do, the better the image would be in terms of the overall composition and description added into the image. At the same time, keep in mind a higher quality means it will take more time, so it will be more time consuming, whereas half quality images will be generated much faster. Stylize is another feature available in Midjourney, which basically allows you to decide how much is the algorithm allowed to deviate from the initial prompt. So let's say if I choose a stylized value of low, my output image will be very close to the prompt that I provided, Whereas if I go with a stylized value of high, I'm basically telling the algorithm to get creative and create unique outlier cases of that prompt in terms of when it's translating it into images. Public mode and stealth mode are two other options available here. Basically, every image that you generate with Midjourney gets uploaded to their server and anybody can access the prompt in the image. If you're on the Pro plan, you have the option to go into stealth mode, in which case you will be able to hide your work from others if that is something you're looking for or working on a project that you don't want to share with others. The remix mode is what allowed us to change the prompt when we upscale it. So if you remember, when I clicked on U1, and then I clicked on make variations, this pop-up showed up, which was the remix prompt. This allows us to change anything we want in our existing prompt before we rerun it. If I switch it off, then this option will not be available. Fast mode and relax mode we slightly covered in the subscription part. It basically decides how much GPU speed do I want to use, a dedicated GPU speed to process my image, or I'm okay with it taking more time. Since you have a limited number of fast mode hours on all the plans, I would suggest you work mostly with the relax mode so that you can experiment more, and although it will take more time, but this will allow you to save your fast mode processing for later jobs when you actually want to use it. Last thing here that I can show you is the info command, which basically tells you about your subscription plan and how many hours you have using for the month. It's telling me that my fast time is 200 minutes and I've only used 94 minutes this month, and this is the date my plan is active till. One more thing I can show you here is that if you want to cancel a job, you can click on this cross emoji, which is the X emoji, and what it does is that it will delete the image completely from your Discord as well as the Midjourney server. So it's a small hack for stealth mode. If you don't want to publicize your images, you can just save it on your PC and delete it from the server by using the cross emoji. If I click on any one of these images, it will give me the option to open it in a browser. And what it essentially does is it takes the image and opens it in a new browser for us. So you see here I can see the image with its URL opened up in a new browser. I can save it into my PC now if I want and work further on it. Last thing I want to show you here is the envelope command, and if you use the envelope command on any job that you have already run, it will show you the seed number and the job ID for that specific command. This becomes handy when you want to use the seed parameter, which is another function that we will cover later in the course. One last hack I can show you is that it works pretty well with emojis too. So I can assign an emoji and it will create, let's do dog. So I can use emojis as part of my text prompt as well. And if I run this, it will actually create a photo, I believe, of something close to a dog. So as expected, because I provided a dog emoji as an input prompt, it created a few versions of the dog image for me. So in this way, in this quick lecture, I covered the info command, the settings command, and the use of different emojis and how they can play a role in creating images. From now onwards, in the next section, we're going to dive into the basics of text prompting and how powerful they can be. After that, we'll discuss the parameters and then some of the advanced parameters before we jump into some of the projects that we can create with Midjourney.
Remember, I have shown you how to cross-question from ChatGPT and make ChatGPT cross-question things from you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move towards starting our copywriting for different things. Let's start off with an Instagram post. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my prompt from here. And let's paste it. And the prompt goes like, again, the identity of a copywriter. You are a copywriting expert. Use the IDA framework for copywriting. Make an Instagram post for my standing desk business. Ask for follow-up questions until you have all the information needed to create the perfect post. Now, I have already given a lot of information to ChatGPT, but copywriting is always an iterative process. It is a process that requires asking questions, getting answers, and then incorporating them into your copy. So for the Instagram post, let's say what ChatGPT gives us back. Okay, amazing. ChatGPT has again given our post a few questions for me to answer. If you read through, it goes like, who is your target audience on Instagram? Are they health-conscious professionals, remote workers, or another specific group? If you remember, we had already picked up remote workers, so we're going to give that as an answer. For the key visual, do you have any specific images or visuals in mind for this post, such as a high-quality photo of your standing desk in a stylish home office setup? Okay. For the offer or the message, what is the primary message or offer you want to convey in this post? For the call to action, what specific action do you want Instagram users to take after seeing this post? Whether you want them to go to your website, whether you want them to follow your account, etc., etc. Then it's asking you for some suggestions about the hashtags, if you have any, and then the character limit, how long this post should be. Now, in an ideal setting, you could also give these details to ChatGPT, but this is a skill that comes with time and with practice. So as you keep creating copy using ChatGPT, you will know the next time what sort of information that you need to give to ChatGPT. So for this part, let's say we say for the audience, I'm just going to type it over here. And once again, you can take these questions to your client again and ask them, I need these specifics from you so that the copy can progress. Now, if you have asked too many questions already, you still have a lot of information on your hand and you can generate that information, but it's always better to ask your client or your manager for some additional information. Now, let's say for the audience, your client gets back to you and says that, yeah, we are going to go with remote workers. Okay. Then we go to the next step. That's your key visual. And I'm going to say, I want the picture. Or I could say, suggest pictures. Or visuals, actually. Then I go to the third part, the offer. And I could say over here, as I said before, no promotions so far. I can go to the next step, call to action. This could be visit the website because I am here to sell the standing desks, and that I'll do from my website over my platform. So I need to redirect my consumers and make sure that they're coming to my website in order to buy the product. Then I go with hashtags. Again, I could say suggest. The last step, character limit, I could say write it in 50 words because Instagram is a platform that requires shorter copy. So I will go for just 50 words. Let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So as you can see, ChatGPT has created all the copy for your Instagram post. If we read through it, it says elevate your workspace. Has added some very good emojis as well when I didn't even ask ChatGPT to do that, because this makes the post a little interactive and ChatGPT is intelligent enough to grasp that. So now it has given you an idea about the visual, a high quality image of a sleek standing desk in a beautifully organized home office. The desk is surrounded by lush green plants, creating a serene workspace. Now you can take these to your client and say that I want photography done in this specific manner, and you're essentially giving them directions as to how product photography can be done. Then we go towards the caption. It says, remote working made better with our ergonomic standing desks. Say goodbye to the 9 to 5 slump and hello to active productivity. Amazing. It's touching all the points that I wanted to. Upgrade your home office today. So it is for people who are working remotely. Visit our website for a healthier work-life balance. It also encapsulates the people who are looking forward to a work-life balance. Now there's a call to action as well, which is that visit our website. Now let's say that I was looking for something different. I'm just starting off my business and I am looking for a post which is more of an introductory sort rather than a generic post about my standing desk. So I could say, give me a caption that is aimed at introducing my standing desk business. And this post seems a little dull, not too dull, but a little dull. So I could also say, write in an excited tone, so that I really generate that excitement in my consumer and they actually go and visit my website. I could also say, write in an excited tone and emphasize on innovation. Stick to 50 words. Let's see what ChatGPT does. So now, as you can see, I had asked ChatGPT to give me a caption. So it has only given me the caption. It has not given me another idea for a visual or another call to action. ChatGPT has already understood that my client or the person asking me the questions is satisfied with the visual and the call to action that I've given, and now I only have to work on the caption. So now let's read through. Elevate your work literally. Welcome to the name of our brand, where innovation meets ergonomics. We're on a mission to transform the way you work, introducing cutting-edge standing desks that redefine comfort and productivity. Just join us in revolutionizing your workspace today. Hashtag innovate your work, hashtag standing desk revolution. Now, one thing that you might notice over here, that ChatGPT has completely erased the idea of remote work or at-home work from this caption. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt back to ChatGPT and say, please include remote workers in this caption. Let's see what it says. Now, as you can see, ChatGPT has incorporated remote workspace right at the end of the caption. Now it's upon me I could ask ChatGPT to elaborate the remote work even further or just stick over here. Now, I have taught you how to get your post or get your caption for the Instagram along with ideas for visuals and ideas for call to action. Now we are going to do the same thing with another framework. So now we are going to set the stage to start some copywriting. And to start with, I am going to take you on a journey of writing some very good blog posts. I'm going to show you different iterations. But before we do that, I did some homework and I kind of tried to verify what ChatGPT knows about my business so that I can now begin copywriting. So what I did was I asked a few questions. To begin with, I said, do you have a good understanding about my standing desk business now? Because we have fed all the data into ChatGPT and I want to make sure that it knows everything. ChatGPT says, yes, I have a good understanding of your standing desk business, including its product, features, target audience, values, and marketing approach. If you have any more specific questions or need further assistance with your business, feel free to ask. So then I start questioning myself and also review the data that I've collected so far. I noticed that I'm still not decided on the price for my product. So for this example, I have kept it pretty simple for you. And I asked ChatGPT, suggest pricing for the two materials we have decided, which was wood and metal. So it gives me the recommendation of a wooden standing desk, gives me 3 ranges with different prices for each range. Then there's the metal standing desk, again, 3 variants with different price ranges. So now, in order to make things simple when you're starting a business, let's pick up 2 of the materials, which is wood and metal, and then 2 variants in each category, which could be the basic and the premium. So I said, let's suppose that you send this material to your client and they get back to you with the same decision that yes, we are going with the 2 materials and 2 variants in each material. And they've given you something like this, which is the product models. Wooden is basic is 300, premium is 800. Metal, basic is 200, premium is 700. So what we do is we go back to ChatGPT and say that I have decided the following product names and prices. I give it the model, which is wooden and metal, and the 2 variants with the prices. Do you have any questions? And now ChatGPT is asking me more questions. So it says, thank you for providing the product names and prices. Let's go down. It says product features. Could you briefly outline the key features that differentiate the basic and premium versions for both the wooden and metal desks? Materials, are there specific types of woods and metal that you use for these desks? So these questions, yes, they are important, and you can again ask your client, discuss it with your manager, or if you're the business owner yourself, you can make a decision on these questions that ChatGPT is asking. But what I did was I have already provided some information to ChatGPT, and I want to make sure to provide information that is now missing, rather than keep providing the same thing again and again, because remember, you have to save your time. Because things like warranty and shipping, I've already given it to ChatGPT. So I gave a follow-up question and say that I gave you the answer for these questions before. Can you find them out? And then see, it says, I apologize for any oversight. Let's revisit the information you provided. The basic models are likely to have standard features. Premium models include enhanced features. Now it's giving me details as to what a basic and premium model could be. Then it's giving me an idea about the materials. Says that you mentioned the materials are wood and metal, but specific details about the type of wood and metal were not provided. So let's leave that out for a while. Customization. I had given it the indication that yes, I want customization, but I haven't given it specifics of the customization, which can be done later. Then, about the warranty and shipping, it is accepting that a 1-year warranty was mentioned, 1-week shipping in North America was mentioned, and even for the marketing messages, it is accepting now that the brand value was customer centricity. Then I had talked about my climate initiative. So now I have made sure that yes, ChatGPT has the information that I had provided it. Now let's ask, can we, or actually let's say, do you have enough information to start writing a blog post for this business? Let's see what it says. So now I asked ChatGPT again that do you have enough information to start writing a blog post for this business? And immediately I have some more questions from ChatGPT that it needs information so that amazing copy can be written for a blog post. So it says for product features, more details about the features of both basic and premium model in wood and metal. Customization, enough information on the context of customization available for these desks. Now, what the information that ChatGPT is giving me, it's based on this statement that it says in the beginning that yes, with the information provided, I have a foundation to start writing a blog post for your standing desk. To create a compelling and informative blog post, I would need more specifics about the following. So that's what I was saying in the beginning, that now I have some more questions that I need to answer. For the unique selling point, any unique qualities or benefits about the standing desks, the target audience, any specific insights. I had already generated a persona with ChatGPT, so I am going to talk about that in my response. Then the climate protection initiative and also the brand values. I think we have talked enough about this with ChatGPT, so let's ask our assistant in a better manner. And so I say, for wood, basic will be made with lumber, premium will be made with oak wood. Now I'm just using information as it comes to me over here. So for metal, the basic one will be brass. Let's say the premium will be steel. Customization, extendable trays for the keyboard and adjustable height of the desk. The USP could be our money back guarantee. The target audience, I say that use the target market personas generated before. Climate protection initiative, 2% of yearly revenue dedicated to forest restoration. Customer service, 24/7 availability on call. Then I ask, can we start writing a blog now? Because I think I have given enough information. I've had a few rounds of cross-questioning with ChatGPT as well, so let's ask this question. The response I got was, great. With this additional information, we have a clear understanding of your product materials, customization options, unique selling proposition, target audience, climate protection initiative, and customer service availability. We can definitely start writing a blog post. Please let me know if you have any specific topics or angles you'd like to focus on in the blog, or if you'd like me to suggest a topic based on this information. So now see the power of ChatGPT, that it's actually asking you that do you have any specific topics that you would like to write a blog post on, or would you want me to suggest some points or some topics that we can write the blog post on? Now we can take both these angles, and now I'm going to explain how we can use the frameworks to write blog posts for your business or for your client. Let's dive into that next. So let's begin writing our blog posts now. To begin with, I can go with a topic of my own. So let's say I select the keyword of benefits of a standing desk, because standing desk is a product which is benefit driven, and this topic, it can be popular amongst the consumers. So let's say that this is our first topic. I'm going to take a prompt from here and let's put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT has already agreed that yes, we can start writing the blog post. So let's see what it gives us. I go like, you are a copywriting expert, given the identity. I want my business website for standing desks to rank on top on Google for the keyword of benefits of a standing desk. Using the IDA framework for copywriting, make a blog post for this keyword. Ask follow-up questions until you have all the information needed to create this perfect post. So I'm still going to add this last bit to ask follow-up questions so that my copy is 100% accurate. If I'm giving it to my client, you should know that you don't want your client to get mad and not come back to you. So you have to give the best work that is possible, and that always requires asking some questions back and forth, reading through the information very, very accurately. So let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So as soon as I give my prompt in, yes, ChatGPT has once again given me a detailed list of questions, and I have prepared the answers already to save some time. Now it says for the target audience, actually let's read out the first part. Certainly, to create an effective blog post that ranks well for the keyword benefits of a standing desk using the IDA framework, I'll need to gather some additional information. So ChatGPT knows the framework that you wanted to use, the components of that framework, and also it knows that what the keyword is supposed to be. So for target audience, can you provide more details about the specific audience you're targeting with the blog post? Although we had given it the information, it's still asking me whether I want to target remote workers, office professionals, entrepreneurs, or a broader audience. Key points: are there any specific benefits or advantages that I want to stress on? For competitor analysis, it's asking me whether I have access to blog posts written by those competitors. So I'm not diving into that right now, and I'm saying that just use what you have. For the brand messaging, are there any specific particular brand messages or values you'd like to emphasize in this blog post? Just like our customer-centric approach, our climate protection initiative, I'm not going to touch more on that. Preferred blog post length. Do you have a preferred word count or length for this blog post? Now, the answer that I prepared as target audience would be remote workers. Key points: health benefits and superior design. Competitor analysis: use the information provided earlier about two competitors. The length, I've decided to go with 1,000 words. And then at the end, I had not written this before, but now I'm going to say write in an excited tone with catchy headings and subheadings. I'm just trying to avoid one step because I know that after this, I'll have to give this prompt to ChatGPT. So as it has asked me some questions, I'm going to include this information in this prompt. So let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So the output that I got from ChatGPT was not something that I was looking for. ChatGPT has given me a guideline to write a blog post myself. But my goal over here is to make ChatGPT write the blog post. And this becomes really important because this is a feature of ChatGPT. You could say it can sometimes give you something different than what you're looking for, and this is where prompt engineering becomes an extremely important skill, and it's sort of an art to know what to write to ChatGPT and make it give you what you're actually looking for. So what I'm going to say in reply is that, can you write the blog post for me? Please write in the form of paragraphs with catchy subheadings. Now let's see what we get. So now you can see that I have my 1,000 word blog post ready. ChatGPT has used the IDA framework in order to write that, and you can see that it is creating the situation, it is giving it all the reasons to the consumers to buy it. It has divided the whole blog into very good subheadings. if you read through, I would suggest pause the lecture right now and read through the whole blog post that you got from ChatGPT to understand how it is creating that sort of attention, developing the interest, the desire, and taking to consumer towards an action. So if you read through, it has perfectly given an introduction in the beginning, where it says the rise of remote work and health concerns. It's talking about the different health concerns that people have because of associated with prolonged sitting, because you're sitting and working. Then it talks about the benefits that are being provided by my standing desk or by the product that you're using or selling. Then it has further divided these sections into subheadings like boosting your well-being, energizing your workday, fighting with risks. And then it comes to another part of the blog post, because if you remember, I said that I will be having my USP is a superior design of the product. So now it talks about that. It includes ergonomics at its best, customization for your style, user-friendly electric adjustment. It all talks about the power of a superior design. So this shows you the power of ChatGPT, that it has actually generated a 1,000-word blog post for me, which I can upload. But a few things that I don't like over here is that I don't want the word introduction written at the top. That just looks really bad in a blog post. No one writes an introduction. It is understood from the beginning that the first paragraph is an introduction. Secondly, I see that, okay, there are too many paragraphs over here, right? Or I could also say that this has become too lengthy and I wanna reduce my blog post to, let's say, 500 words with a fewer number of subheadings.
Now let's start talking about the most basic component of a prompt, that is a text prompt. By giving text in a prompt, we can provide specific instructions or guidelines for an AI model to follow in order to generate the art that we desire. This can include things like naming an object as simple as an owl, or assigning it verbs and adjectives for defining specific things in the image, such as the style and the lighting in the image. For instance, I can say a vintage owl from the 1880s, or an owl under moonlighting, and many more ways. The AI art outcome will change based on the text we provide to it. By carefully crafting the prompt, we can create art that fits the desired aesthetics we want to generate. The first thing that I want to start with is the use of language. It is important to keep in mind that the language used in the prompt is very important, as the words and phrases can influence the style and tone of the generated image. For example, if a prompt uses negative word tones, it would be translated in the generated image as well. Let's try it with a basic prompt with a positive word and then add a negative word next to it and see how the image changes. So I'm here in my Midjourney bot in Discord. I'll start by typing imagine as always, and then let's create an image of a cute owl. And then I'm going to change this to angry cute owl. So I just added a word with a negative connotation right next to it. And let's see how the two images are different from each other. The images are ready, and as you can see, this is our image of a cute owl which looks very cute, like a character from Disney or Pixar movie. And then by just adding a word angry to it, it completely changed the image, and the owl gives a very furious look now in terms of a negative connotation attached to the overall image. So just a small experiment to show you how powerful the text prompts can be by themselves.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that please remove the subheading or the word introduction being used as a subheading. Then I say please reduce the length of the blog post to 500 words with a fewer number of subheadings. Now let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So you can immediately see the impact on the output as soon as I prompted ChatGPT to remove the introduction. It has removed the introduction over here, and then you can also see I had said that reduce the word count to 500, and that ChatGPT has done very impressively, because you should realize that we had given it a lot of information, and if it's writing a blog post, it still needs to attack all those components of the IDA framework. So it still has to generate attention, create an interest, create a desire, and then take the consumer towards an action. So if you can read through, it has now transformed the blog post by incorporating bullet points, and it's still saying a lot by saying very less. Now it is upon you to decide whether you want to maintain a 500 word blog post, or if you want to go for a bigger blog, which would be 1,000 words. So now the next step that we'll take is, let's try and write the blog post in a different framework. Without the IDA framework, we will go towards the APP or the 4Ps framework. So let's go towards the 4Ps and write something with that. In order to do this, what we'll do is we will take the same prompt, copy it, and it's very simple. You just have to paste. All the information is already with ChatGPT. You have done all the cross-questioning as well. All you have to change is write 4Ps framework for copywriting. And now let's see what ChatGPT says. Over here, we'll still write let's remove the follow-up questions from here for now, and let's replace that with write a 1,000 word blog post and include catchy subheadings. Let's see what it gives us. Now, if you can see, ChatGPT has given me a blog post with the 4Ps framework of copywriting. But if you notice and you read through, it has kind of done something silly over here, which is the P1, the P2, the P3, the P4, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to change the subheadings. I'm going to say that I don't like the subheadings, so change them. I'm going to say I don't like the subheadings used here. Please don't use P1, P2, P3 and such. Instead, give me other catchy subheadings that talk about the 4 P's in the 4Ps framework. Let's see what we get now. As you can notice now, ChatGPT has removed the P1s, the P2s, and the P3s, and now I have much better looking subheadings. If you read through physical health and ergonomic revolution, uplifting your mood and productivity, convenience meets customization, elevate your work experience, putting customers first. Now, if you read through, you will see product, price, place, and promotion being done in this blog post, and it's more inclined towards talking about those things. In the IDA framework, it was talking about the same things, but it was generating that attention, that interest, the desire, and the action. It's doing the same things over here, but it's doing that while talking about the 4 P's of the framework that we have used this time. So if you see, it's talking about the product. In the pricing section, it's telling you over here about the fact that you have to go to in the call to action. You can see visit our website today and elevate your work experience. Then for the price, you can see that our guarantee your satisfaction, experience, peace of mind with our money back guarantee. If you're not delighted, we'll refund your purchase. So it's talking about the price as well, and it's at the same time promoting the product too. So now you can see that I have just changed the word, just one word. I have replaced IDA with 4 P's, and I have a perfect blog written in with another framework. You can do something similar for all the other frameworks, the APP and the STAR methodology. You can use those instead of IDA or 4 P's, and you will get some very good results from ChatGPT. But do remember that whenever you're making it write a blog post, doesn't matter which framework it is, it has to be cross-questioned, and ChatGPT has to be provided enough information. And then you also have to go through the outputs that are being given to you and also the information that you're collecting. If you do that, then you can create the perfect blog post for your business or for your client. Now, the next step that we're going to take is that I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to create a whole month's blog post schedule for your business or for your client. If a client reaches out to you and if they want blogs done for a whole month, then you can ask ChatGPT to create that calendar, and now I'm going to show you how to do that. So now let's go and make a schedule for our blog post. I want to do a monthly, or you could also say a blog post schedule for 4 weeks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and I'm going to take this prompt that I've created, and I'm going to copy this and paste it into ChatGPT. So it reads, now really focus on what I'm doing over here. You are an expert copywriter. The identity given, I want to create a 4-week schedule for blog posts for my standing desk business. I'm giving it the context now. I want 3 posts every week for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now my output is beginning, the kind of output I want. These blog posts should address different topics. Create a 4-week schedule with a topic for the blog post along with 3 bullet points for the material that will be covered in these blogs. Additionally, I'm going to say the tone for these blogs should be innovative and aimed towards remote workers. Now let's see what sort of a schedule does ChatGPT give me. As you can see over here, I have a schedule ready for all 4 weeks. Now for week 1, I have blog 1, blog 2, blog 3. For week 2, again, blog 1, blog 2, blog 3. I had told ChatGPT that I want blog posts for 3 days of the week, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it has given me an idea for 3 blog posts every week. And it has also included some bullet points to tell me what it will be covering in those blog posts. So if you can read the first one, goes like ergonomics redefined. The first point is explore the science behind ergonomics and how standing desks contribute to better posture. Discover real-life experiences from remote workers who have embraced ergonomic workspaces. Innovative design features that set our standing desks apart in the world of ergonomic furniture. So you can see that this is geared towards the people who are remote workers, as I had said in the prompt. It is also trying to maintain a very innovative sort of a tone in these blog posts. If you can read just the topics and some of the bullet points, you will be able to gather that yes, ChatGPT has done a fabulous job over here, and it's really showing the power that it possesses. What I can do over here is that I can write these back to my client or my manager, but this is in a very it's written in a very lengthy manner, and also it says blog 1, blog 2, blog 3. So I want to remove that. I want to write days in whatever I send to my client, and also I want to create this in a tabular form so that it looks nicer. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, I'll say replace blog 1, blog 2, and blog 3 with days of the week mentioned. And let's see what ChatGPT does. As you can see over here now, my blog 1, blog 2, blog 3 has been removed by week 1. It talks about revolutionize your workspace with standing desk. The Monday would be ergonomics redefined. Wednesday would be boosting remote work productivity. And Friday would be the future of remote workspaces, and so on and so forth. So now I have changed the structure or the wordings of my blog post, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this look cleaner, and then I'm going to tell ChatGPT to please provide these in a tabular form with all bullet. Actually, it might confuse ChatGPT, so I'll say in the form of a table. Please include all bullet points. So let's see what ChatGPT gives me now. Now I have a very nice looking table in front of me, which gives me the whole schedule for all the 3 days, for all the 4 weeks, and all the bullet points that each blog post will be covering. So in essence, something that would have taken me probably weeks to make, I have done that in a matter of few clicks and with the use of ChatGPT. So guys, this really shows you the power of ChatGPT. And now would be a good time that you can write back to your client or your manager and show them this whole schedule of blog posts that you have created. I am sure that they will be really, really impressed with your work, and they'll be like, oh, you have done a fabulous job in a very limited amount of time. And one interesting thing over here is that you can take this to the next level. If you can create a whole schedule of blogs from ChatGPT, then you might as well write a whole book on standing desk or a topic related with that.
Midjourney has transformed the process of creating images, making it accessible to anyone regardless of their prior knowledge or expertise. Whether you're an expert designer, marketer, freelancer, or just an average user exploring AI tools, learning Midjourney can be of great benefit to you. As an AI art generator, this tool has extremely simplified the art creation process, making it much easier to create stunning, high-quality images with just a few clicks. In this section of the course, I will walk you through the basic fundamentals of AI art generation through prompts, including text and image prompts, as well as I'll cover extensively all the parameter functionality available in Midjourney. We will also dive into some of the advanced prompting techniques which will teach you how to get high-level customization options for the AI art generated. Throughout this section, I'll walk you through my thinking process and workflow as I create art images. This will give you a deeper understanding of how to make the most out of this Midjourney tool and create your own unique and beautiful AI generated art. Moreover, I've added a guidebook specifically on Midjourney as a part of this course, which will provide you a detailed explanation in simple language for topics covered in the course, along with an extensive list of keywords for each subtopic that we cover. This will provide you with further guidance and tools for inspiration when you're creating your own art. Once we have covered the basics of Midjourney in this section, we will then dive into some of the projects that we can work using Midjourney, such as selling our AI art created from Midjourney on Etsy, creating a drawing book and uploading it for selling on Kindle, Amazon, and how to use the power of Midjourney for UI and UX design for creatives and designers. Now what I've opened here is the Midjourney website. So if we talk about how to log into the system and access this tool, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to discord.com and download it based on PC or Mac, whatever you're using. Once you have downloaded Discord and logged into it, then go to the Midjourney website and click on Join Beta. Once you do that, it will take you to your Discord channel and ask you to add yourself in. Now, since I'm already a member, it automatically took me to my Midjourney page. Now, over here, you'll see multiple channels and multiple things happening. Don't get overwhelmed. What you need to do is you need to go to the newcomers or newbies room. The newcomers room, either one, 50 or 20 is fine. And here you can start practicing your prompts for free using Midjourney. And you will see a lot of different prompts that different people have created using the algorithm, which can you further use for your own inspiration. So now, just to give you a very basic idea of what this tool is, I need to type /imagine. That's how this starts. Every time we're going to ask Midjourney to create something for us, we're going to ask it to we're first going to type /imagine. I press spacebar and then the prompt part gets added on its own. Now I can say anything. Whatever I write as text is the image that will be created. Let's say I want to create Superman flying over a building. And now this algorithm will then run and create the image for me. So keep in mind, this is my account ID SA5425592, and next to it it's saying waiting to start. Because I'm in the free newbies channel, it will keep hopping around as more inputs are provided. My input position will change and I'll have to scroll up to find it. So here it is, and it's loading right now. So here you see this was the prompt that I provided, Superman flying over a building, and the output is here. Now you can see that it created an image in 4 images essentially using the same prompt. In each one of them you see Superman flying across the building, slightly different variations of the same image. Now the next thing I want to cover is the Midjourney library and its subscription plans. So this is one of the most powerful tools out there when it comes to learning Midjourney. I'm at talks.midjourney.com, and here at the bottom you'll see user guide and getting started. So if you go to the user guide, it provides a really nice documentation of all the features that are covered in Midjourney. Essentially, all these things are covered in the course and in the guidebook that I've provided, but this is a very good reference point, and I would highly recommend you that apart from the guidebook I provided, you go through the library provided by Midjourney and understand the different things that they have lined up for us on how to use the model. The first thing I want to focus on is the subscription plans, and Midjourney offers different tiers of subscriptions. The first one is the free trial, but the free trial only allows you a limited number of jobs, and after that you won't be able to use much. So therefore I would suggest, if you're going to regularly work with Midjourney, you buy at least the basic plan. And if you think that you will heavily use Midjourney and use a lot of hours, then a standard plan would work as well, depending on what your cost analysis is. Now, as we compare plans, one important thing that I need to tell you is the relaxed GPU hours. So this is something only available in standard and pro plans. So essentially what Midjourney does is it allows you specific GPU time, which essentially means the processing time that you're allowed to use for that algorithm of Midjourney. Now, fast hours are the jobs that are done immediately. And what this means is that if you write a prompt, it will directly go and access the server and run your job and give you the image. Now in the basic plan, you only get 3.3 hours. And in the standard plan, you get 15 hours. And in the free trial, you only get 0.4 hours for lifetime. So as soon as you ran out of these 0.4 hours, you're done. You will have to upgrade to a basic plan at least. The big advantage of standard plan, and this is why I use standard plan, is it has unlimited relax hours. So what this means is that even if I've utilized all my 15 hours of fast GPU time and I still want to use Midjourney to generate more images, and I don't really care if it's going to be slow, I just want my output to be generated, then I can use the relaxed GPU time and generate more images, as many as I want, because they're unlimited in the standard and pro plan. So that's why, based on how much you're going to use Midjourney, this is around 200 minutes. So if you think 200 minutes won't be enough for your practicing, then maybe start with a standard plan and you can jot down to basic plan if it turns out that you don't need that many hours. Now, I want to show you the subscription plans and the fast and relaxed settings, but for that I need to take this image to my private pod. So now let's say you're working on a standard or a pro plan. The first thing you need to do is open this, click these 3 dots, and from the emojis choose the mail one, the envelope. So it's called the envelope without anything on it, and what it essentially does is that it sends this image to a private direct message between you and Midjourney. So now in my Midjourney bot, I will be able to see this image and the message. So if I go down to the bottom, this is my image and the message. So Superman flying, okay, it takes me up again. Superman flying over the building. This is the job ID. This is the seat number. Now over here, I can click settings, press enter. So I did /set. And now I can switch between fast mode and relaxed mode. So if I switch to relaxed mode, it will take more time, but all my images will be generated and there won't be any issues because I have unlimited on the standard plan.
One interesting thing over here is that you can take this to the next level. If you can create a whole schedule of blogs from ChatGPT, then you might as well write a whole book on standing desk or a topic related with that. So let's do that next. Let's create a whole book with ChatGPT. I'm going to show you how to create the first section, let's say. What we can do is, since we've created a whole schedule of blog posts, we can use these topics or these pointers as the chapters that would be included in our book. So I'm going to prompt ChatGPT to say use the topics from the created schedule to create a book on the benefits of standing desks. Let's suppose the title of the book is Buy a Standing Desk, Live Better. So I've given it a topic as well, and I've told it to use the topics in the blog post schedule to make the product and to make the book. And now I'm going to say, let's write an introduction section of 2,000 words. Make sure that this sounds academic. Let's see what ChatGPT now gives us. So as you can see, I have a whole 2,000 word section of my introduction ready in front of me. I can literally use ChatGPT to write a whole book. All I have to do is give it topics for the sections or different tweaks that I want to make. Now, one thing that I can do over here as well is with the tone. I could say, rewrite this section using the tone, or I could say as if you are Bill Gates. Let's see what the difference is. You may notice a change in the tone. It's talking more and more about technology, since Bill Gates is a very technological person and is known in that industry. So now it has changed the tone. What I'm going to do is say rewrite this in the tone of J.K. Rowling. Let's see what it does now.
Now, let's dive into some of the ways we can control our text prompts and customize our image by providing different information about the photograph or the image that we are creating with Midjourney. The first one on the list is lighting. Before we dive into Midjourney, First, let's understand what lighting means as a photographer. Light is basically used to illuminate and bring out the features in an image. For instance, we have cinematic shots in movies in black and white light. Blue lighting is used to show nighttime. Spotlight to focus attention on a specific object. And glowing lights to make the image look more glowy. Lighting, in context of Midjourney, is intended to evoke a specific mood or atmosphere by providing instruction to Algo on what type of lighting to use. So now let's go to Midjourney and try some of these features out. So I'll start with imagine the same prompt and let's say cute lake by the lighthouse in warm lighting. And then I'll do the exact same prompt, but this time I'll say cold lighting. Or I can say moonlight, which will be close to cold, but slightly different, I'm guessing, and maybe the algorithm will add a moon in the photo as well. Another interesting one to try is volumetric lighting. And what volumetric lighting essentially refers to is it's a type of computer graphics technique used to eliminate the way light scatters in a real world environment. It will give you a gaming mode sort of a sense of an image. And just to give a quick overview of this, I've added this prompt guide in the end of this chapter in which you will find a lot of different inspirational examples they can use for different text words. For instance, for lighting, accent lighting, black light, blinding light, candle light, direct sunlight, quantum light. So depending on the type of the image you're trying to create, you can refer to the guidebook and use the effect that works best for you based on what image you have in your head and you're trying to get it out on paper. So our images are ready. Let's start with warm lighting. So as expected, you see there is a little bit of yellow and orange shade here. You can see the sun in the background. Very realistic with version 5. So this was our warm lighting. This is our cold one. So now you see in the cold one, it's of course showing us a night sunset sort of an environment, making it giving it a more coldish look. The next is moonlighting, which is very similar to cold if you see, and it also added a moon in the top in some of the photos. And the last one is volumetric lighting, which looks like a gaming shot, sort of. It looks pretty natural in some of them, but the idea was to make it look like a gaming shot. And you see how the trees are blurry. It shows that the photo has been taken by capturing a stationary object and the movement of the light in the scene has been captured. Okay. The next keyword I'm going to focus on is camera options and camera angles. And once again, let's keep Midjourney aside. Let's first understand what this means from the perspective of a photographer. In the context of a photo generation, the camera options can be used to simulate the effects of different types of cameras and lenses in the final output image. For example, a panorama camera which captures a 360 image of the scene. A DSLR will replicate a realistic image as if it's taken from a DSLR camera. magnification, microscopy, or pinhole lens camera will give you a completely different image as if the photo was taken through the lens of these cameras. Okay, now let's go and give it a try and see how this works out if we give something like this to the algo. So I'll start with a very basic prompt. Let's say imagine, I forgot the slash, imagine street, actually let's just do city of Toronto. Okay, and then I'll start assigning camera angles to it from a panorama view camera. DSLR camera. Satellite imagery camera, and see how it turns out. So the first one was City of Toronto, and this is interesting because I didn't define that I want a view of the city. It created logos of the city in 3 photos, and as you can see here, Midjourney is pretty bad with text. So don't rely on it. You'll have to edit it on your own if you're working with logos or stuff that requires adding words on the image. But this one is pretty nice. It shows an image of the city of Toronto as expected. The second one I did was panoramic view. And panoramic view attempts to show a 360 view of the image, and it does a pretty good job. I can see the CN Tower, the tallest building in Toronto here, and it's trying to capture a 360 view of the city. The next one I did was DSLR camera, and this is where it got super realistic. So especially in this photo, I can see a photo taken of Toronto which looks very realistic and does not look like an image generated from an AI art tool. And the last one we tried was satellite imagery, and now you see just by adding the camera how the image has completely changed, and it's showing us a satellite view of Toronto. So in this way you can play around with different camera options and use the ones that best suit your needs. Now in the guidebook as well, you'll find a lot of different examples of camera that you can use. I tried panorama, DSLR, and satellite. Here are a bunch of other options such as bird's eye view, which will show the view from a high angle perspective looking down on the subject. Worm's eye view, style that captures the scene from a low angle perspective. 360 VR, a style that captures the 360 virtual reality image of the scene. Time lapse, high speed. The next thing that we can work with is camera angles. So now what we're talking about is the position of the camera in relation to the subject being photographed, such as eye level, when the object is at my eye level, or it could be a high angle, where the object, I am looking down at the object, or it could be the opposite, a low angle, where a photographer sits down to take the photo. It could be front view, rear view, a close-up shot, a full body shot. So now let's go and try some of these out and see how our image changes. So now I'm going to start with a simple prompt of an image of a character or a person. Let's say Snow White. And let's say I assign it a full body shot of Snow White. and then let's do high level, high angle shot of Snow White, and then let's do front close-up shot and see how it changes the output image that is being created. The images are ready, and as you can see here, depending on the angle and the camera shot that I defined, the image outcome completely changed. For the first one, I set full body shot, so we see the full body of Cinderella in each one of these photos with slight variations of different types of Snow White in the image. The next one I did was high angle shot, and you can see here that especially in this one that the camera is above the object, so the cameraman is actually above Snow White in taking these photos. The next one I did was a close-up shot, and now you see that the camera has basically zoomed in into the face of Snow White and it's taking a very close-up shot of Snow White. Although this doesn't look like Snow White, but that's how it interpreted it. And the last one is a low angle shot, and as you can see, now you can see that the cameraman is at a lower elevation versus Snow White, and it's looking up towards the Snow White. So in this way we can play around with camera angles to generate the desired image. A rear view and a front view will also be very beneficial if you want to take the front photo of the Snow White or the back photo of the Snow White. The next thing I want to quickly touch base on is the camera types. So essentially, you can further enhance your image by specifying the camera type that you want to use with Midjourney as a reference. So let's say I like Canon EOS 5D Mark 5 camera. I can mention the camera in the prompt itself with the same image. So let's say low angle shot of Snow White from a, let's say, taken from Canon EOS 5D Mark IV camera. Let's pick another one. So now there are many different cameras, and I've written a small explanation of what this camera is best used for, so that you have an idea of what kind of images you're trying to create. To create a contrast with our previous camera, let's try a Polaroid photo. So same prompt, but this time I'm going to replace this camera with a Polaroid S670. And let's see what images do we get out. So now the images are ready, and the first one is with the Canon EOS 5D Mark V camera, and as you can see, looks like a realistic image, although the Snow White looks like a toy or an animation character, but the image from the camera looks very realistic by itself. And if we want, we can add more to the prompt saying that a realistic photo of Snow White, if that's what we're aiming for. But right now I was trying to show you the impact of the camera. And here you see this looks like an image from a Polaroid. Now this is interesting how the algorithm is interpreting the prompt that we have provided. In this one, it just provided the Polaroid. In this one, it added the Polaroid camera with Snow White. And in these two photos, the Polaroid is still there. So I'm going to slightly tweak the prompt to get a more realistic photo of Snow White from the same camera. So let's say I want a realistic photo of Snow White from a, let's say, taken from Polaroid X770 camera. Let's see if this does the job of creating a real photo of Snow White from a Polaroid camera. So now, as you can see, as I changed my prompt, the image became a lot more what we were looking for. So now you don't see the Polaroid camera in any of the images, plus the Snow White looks very realistic. One small catch here is that maybe the algorithm is treating it as in white snow, and that's why you see a lot of snow in these two photos. So a slightly different interpretation, but it gets us what we want. If I want to further play around with it, I can add Disney Snow White here, and then the algorithm would know what I'm referring to. The next thing that I want to touch base on is artists. So an artist's name can be used as a prompt for an AI image generator by providing the name of a specific artist as input to the algorithm. The AI will then use the style and techniques of that particular artist to generate an image. This can be useful when you want to experiment with different styling techniques without having to learn them all by themselves. For instance, if an artist inputs the name of Van Gogh as a prompt, the AI will use Van Gogh's distinct styles such as thick brushstrokes, bold colors, and use of light and shadow to generate the image. Similarly, if I go with Da Vinci, who had an innovative style of painting characterized by blending colors and tones, strong contrast between light and dark, that will be reflected in the image. Here in the prompt guide, I've provided you a list of different artists with a small brief explanation of what type of paintings they created that can prove as an inspiration for you to use them for your own work. Now, I would want to try a few out to show you how powerful this trick could be. So let's say I create a very basic painting first of a running lion in a grass field. And then I'm going to start assigning different artists to it. So same prompt in Monet style painting. In Da Vinci style painting. In Banksy, which is one of my favorite ones. If you know about it, he's a recent UK phenomena who cut off his own painting the moment it was sold in an auction to make an impression. Who else can we try? We can go with Van Gogh too, because we all have a basic idea of what Van Gogh's paintings look like. Now what I expect is that each of these prompts that I've provided will use that artist's distinct style to modify the painting and produce something extremely unique that looks like that this artist actually painted it. So now our images are ready. The first one is just the lion running in the grass field without assigning any artist to it, and it looks like a very realistic photo as if taken by a real photographer. I'm still astonished and surprised by how good Midjourney version 5 is in generating real images. The next one we did was Monet. And Monet, if you have an idea is from the time of Impressionism, characterized by loose brushwork, vivid colors, and emphasis on capturing the fleets effects of light in atmosphere. And you can see that how it commingles the grass and the color of the leaves with the sky, with these a very original perspective and detail to it. The next one is Da Vinci, and as you see here, it looks like a Da Vinci painting. If you're familiar with Mona Lisa or some of his other works, it looks a very realistic perspective of it, from a very sort of a dim colors attached to it. It added that dimness by creating a black and white portrait in the first two. The next one is Van Gogh, and Van Gogh is known for his specific brush strokes. If you have seen his paintings, these are the kind of brush strokes and the sky that it portrays, and it's doing a pretty good job in showing that. The next is Picasso, and that's huge brush strokes. That's what Picasso is known. So these are big brush strokes, and you can see that impact here. The next one is Banksy, and Banksy uses minimalism, very basic things, and very basic color combinations, and that's very apparent in these photos. The next thing I want to quickly cover here while we're talking about artists is that I can also refer to a painting to do the same job. So for instance, let's say Starry Night style painting of a running lion in a grass field. And let's see if it is able to understand and does the job. If you don't know what Starry Night refers to, here's the image. You must have seen it before somewhere, of the Starry Night painting by Van Gogh, and it's one of the most beautiful and famous works that he has ever produced. Now, we use this as an input prompt, Starry Night style painting of the same lion, and you see how it changed the overall aesthetics of the image by making it similar to the Starry Night image. And this looks like a really powerful image. If I have to choose one of the images to further work on, I would definitely work with this over the artist image. So just a quick hack to help you understand how different paintings and artists can be used to enhance your image and use their style of painting to basically make your image that you're generating similar to them.
Now, if you read through, you can see a lot of magical words in the text. You can see the enchantment of workspaces has undergone a wondrous transformation in recent times, with the magic of technology reshaping not just our work, but also where our work finds us. The traditional office no longer holds the same sway. So yeah, J.K. Rowling and standing desks are two completely different things. I know that. But what I wanted to show you was the impact on the output of the way you prompt ChatGPT. So as soon as you tell it that I want the output in a certain kind of tone, it is going to implement those changes and give you something in that specific manner. Where this becomes very interesting and very empowering is that if you are, let's say, launching a technological venture, a startup, or working for a client who is in the IT industry or any other industry for that matter, what you can do is you can take blog posts written by experts or someone known in the industry, like Bill Gates, I use for technology. You can use that person and write it in a manner which is very resonant with that specific person. So in essence, the output that you're giving, or the blog post or the book that you're delivering, will be in a tone set for success. So you will be definitely inspiring ChatGPT with people from that industry, training it about those people from the industry, and then getting an output which will definitely make your product sell. You can do something similar for your website. The different sections of your website, the About Us section, the Home, the introduction of the Team section. So you can use this copywriting skill and technique for writing each and every section of your website. And since we have covered a lot of stuff in this lecture already, I won't be going over the website section. For that, you can refer to the website section in this whole lecture. But for now, we have taught you enough of copywriting, the frameworks, and how these can be put to use to create amazing blogs and even a whole book.